What's happening in Lake Tahoe? Well, after a day out on the beach or in the mountains or on the water, tune us in for the Tahoe Tonight Show. I say us because it's a jam-packed show full of interviews, people stopping by the studio, talking about events, businesses, 5, 8, and 11 o'clock.
Thanks, Pete. Shelly Thomsen here from Stupid, and I always have to preface it. South Tahoe Public Utility District. I love since the time I moved here 20-some years ago. I remember somebody saying they work for Stupid, and then they explained. I love it how you guys just own the acronym because it's great. It's great.
It only gets tricky with my 4-year-old.
Okay, that's a good point, huh?
We don't say that word in our house,
oh,
but we do.
Oh, that is interesting.
You know?
Right? You don't.
Right.
That's a funny one.
That's when it gets a little tricky.
I'm
telling my husband, well, and Stupid's opinion is, or and Stupid did, and Lily says,
you don't say Stupid.
You don't say that word.
You're like, Mommy works for Stupid, but I thought, oh my,
and I'm
that
like,
is
girl, welcome to Tahoe.
Right?
Acronyms. Okay, let's talk about
real life is funnier than any comedy shtick out there. It's you and I were just saying what a summer it's been for. Like, I don't think anybody in Tahoe, any local person is going to take their kid to school on Monday that's like ready, really
well
ready.
rested.
Yeah,
and ready.
I think everybody between now and Sunday, families are going nuts with their family.
Waterlogged, sunburned, tired,
dirty,
dirty.
Going to bed with the dirty feet, the whole bit. I was gone Monday. I was in Yosemite, but I know I missed the summit, and you were there, and you were there, right?
Oh man, okay. So the Tahoe Summit has been going on. I think it's for 23 years now.
Right.
It's an annual event that is hosted either by a California representative or a Nevada representative. It switches each year. So this year, Senator Feinstein was the host. It was out at Valhalla, which is, I mean, so gorgeous, right? And one of my favorite parts of the Tahoe Summit is it's talking about everyone working together to protect the lake. How do we keep our little nook of the world beautiful for future generations? And something Senator Feinstein says, which I love, is she calls it Team Tahoe. You know that there are congressmen from both sides, senators from both sides, both governors were there from California, Nevada, as well as all the agency folks and folks from the public.
Right.
And, say what you will about Tahoe. We've got short summers. What you call it, brine? Brag and whine at the same time.
When you brag and whine. Like,
we brag and whine about all the fun we're having. Yeah. We have a lot of regulation to keep our lake clean, but the amount of collaboration that happens between 2 states, 5 counties, multiple cities, all these different agencies coming together to keep our lake clean and our forest healthy is super cool.
I had a really interesting experience when I moved here about 23 years ago. I moved from an area in Maryland near Virginia, where I'd grown up hunting all my life in the woods and had this like just abundance of forest to go deer hunting, bow hunting, whatever. That's what I did growing up. Right. And came out here and saw all this regulation, and my first reaction was like, oh my God, this is such a pain in the ass. It's too much stuff. And then about maybe 10 years after being here, I went back, and to this day, all of that forest that I used to go hunting in, that I have all these great childhood memories from, it was all, I guess, track housing, you'd call it, suburban. Totally. And I thought, gosh, okay. And I shifted quite a bit to like, okay, preserving this is important.
There's something to be said about that. So 80% of the land in the Tahoe Basin is either state or federally owned. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Think about when you're driving around. It's mainly forests, and those forests are managed by our state and the feds, the U.S. Forest Service, which it keeps them preserved, right? And so it's a balancing act, right? These state and federal agencies have all this land to manage for healthy forests to try to minimize the risk of fire.
Yeah, big one.
Right? And then also you have these teeny tiny little communities right along the lake that have these little water districts around them that are responsible for not just providing.
Like about how many water districts? About like dozens?
Yeah, I would probably probably guess
I didn't really realize
15.
that. Okay, something like that. Okay.
Ish.
Okay.
Ish. I mean, I'm not counting the like hotel motels that have their own well.
Right.
You know, there's some
We
of those
forget that
exist.
it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here in South Lake, there's like over 600 homes that have private wells.
Have their own well.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool.
I know.
Is that cool?
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. Okay, I was making sure.
As long as the water's clean, I
Right,
think it's cool.
right.
I mean, we live at the top of the watershed. We're really lucky to have
Yeah,
some
exactly.
clean water. So you have these teeny little water districts all around the lake, and so not only are they responsible for providing super delicious Tahoe tap to drink,
The best.
but we're also providing that water for fighting fires,
Right.
you know, in that wild urban interface. So it's always an interesting conversation that these small little water districts need to be working with our fire districts and working with our state and federal partners to make sure that if a structure fire hits, we have sufficient water to put it
Right,
out.
yeah.
Or if there's a fire in the meadow, we can put it out before it gets out into the forest.
Yeah.
So at this Tahoe Summit this last Tuesday, that was, you know, the top conversation.
Yeah.
Talking about
That's
fire.
been a big one.
Right?
All through the community is what
I
do we
mean,
do for fire?
Absolutely. It's
Exit routes, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean-
protection, mitigation.
right. Paradise could happen here any day.
I know.
Knock on wood. Hope not. So, so I guess the takeaway is just, I think it's cool that we have these federal, state, and local partners all working together on this issue
To
and
make
that
Tahoe better.
to make Tahoe better and to keep Tahoe, to try to keep Tahoe safe. You
Yeah.
know, as the water sewer district, it's top on our mind, right? Any project you see us working on that's a water project, we're probably upsizing the water line so you have better pressure, installing fire hydrants, making sure there's booster pumps or water tanks so that if when a fire
I
hits
love to
our
hear the
community,
water pressure thing because nothing sucks
Yeah.
more than get after like I go do these big adventures, come
Right.
back 4 or 5 days, and you get like you go to a friend's house, you get in the shower, and it's like, oh,
Right.
it's crappy water pressure. You're like, oh,
Yeah, right.
that's all you want is the good water pressure and the hot water.
I mean, imagine if our firefighters went and turned on the hose
Right,
and it
that's
just
true.
dribbled out.
I
mean,
didn't
that's
think
not
about
good
that.
enough,
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good point. Well, it sounded like the summit overall had a good feeling of where Tahoe's going.
Absolutely. And it was an honor to be a part of it as South Tahoe Public Utility District, trying to do our little piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
to try to keep our community
One of the
safe.
partners.
Yeah.
Stupid.
All
Shelly
day, every
Thomsen.
day.
All day, every day. Just be careful around your kids. We'll take a break and come back with your forecast. Stay with us.